What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got some super quick duels for you guys to check out. The first duel is going to be featuring Aroma, an archetype getting some new support and Chaos Impact. The new support actually very legitimate in my opinion. I think that it definitely makes a lot of the older support, whether it be an Invasion Vengeance or Clash of Rebellion, look like it was not quite up to par. I mean, some of the cards from like Clash of Rebellion, such as Jasmine and Aroma Garden, those cards are obviously good, but some of the other monsters like Rosemary, just not very good. Anyways, he's going to have a pretty strong opening. In my opinion, opens with Reasoning. That is pretty good. I think he's going to get a copy of Laurier, and that's just going to be a monster that basically serves as a body. Now, anytime you have Aroma Garden plus you have Jasmine, that's always been a good combo because now you're talking about being able to draw a card for free and being able to get an additional normal summon for a plant monster. So he's basically going to cash in both of those effects. Take that +1, yes sir. Then he probably will summon, I don't know, maybe the Spore out of his hand. The monster turning into a tuner doesn't really matter there because he was just going to link summon into Jasmine, and this is awesome because he can just go ahead. Since he did link summon and gain 500 life points, this means Jasmine gives him a search for free. So anytime you use Laurier and you go into Jasmine, you automatically get the search from Jasmine, which is crazy. But he can also just give up this Spore for a Lone Fire Blossom from his deck. This means that he can instantly go for a synchro play by using the Spore in his graveyard to just revive itself and just using any level 4 monster. So he is just going to go ahead and go for this sweet Marjoram, and now he's going to go for a second copy of Jasmine. I didn't even know this. Jasmine's second effect, or Jasmine's search effect, not a hard once per turn. Who even knew that? That's crazy, right? He's going to gain life points off of Angelica, and he's going to get another search, which was another Angelica, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, his opponent's playing Mech Knight Invoked. He is going to fall victim here because he is going to gain some life points, and I think he's going to lose both monsters. He probably should have. Maybe he should have, as soon as he searched from Alistair, not even let him go into the Salamangreat Almirage. I would have just immediately ripped this because he gets to pop 2 cards each turn and he gets to search a card. So he's basically like a +3. Well, I guess you take a neg, so it's like a +2 every single turn. If you're wondering why he didn't just mind control to try to break this, these monsters can't be targeted. So these monsters can't be targeted and they can't be destroyed by battle. This is incredibly strong. When your opponent can't destroy your cards by battle and can't target them, if they're playing like Salamangreat, how do they even break this? Outside of using maybe Fusion of Fire to like link your monster off the board, it is very, very difficult. So you can see he's a little desperate, trying to figure out a way. Maybe do I want to go for Borolo Dragon? That would be probably a way to get rid of these cards. He goes for Purgatrio, which is fine, but Purgatrio doesn't work that well if it can't run over monsters by battle. So while he is doing some damage in a deck like Aroma's, it just doesn't matter. You're going to be gaining life points back with Aroma Garden every turn, and the second his turn starts, he activates Aroma Garden. Now he can pop 2 cards, one with the Marjoram, another with the Dried Winds, and he gets a Surge. So like if you ever let them get set up like this, every single turn that you don't actually get rid of these cards, they're basically just going to be going +3. Well, yeah, they can go +3 because they can use the Aroma Garden. I thought for some reason I was thinking about Angelica, but if they use Aroma Garden during their turn, it is actually a +3 because they're popping 2 cards and they're searching. Now he did use Almirage there to make sure Purgatrio didn't actually be destroyed, but it's not going to matter. Now he has the effect of the Aroma Gardening. He also has the Laurier, which is just going to give him 500 life points, and he can start basically banishing his opponent's entire graveyard, well, the monsters in it, every single turn. In a deck like, obviously, Invoked, which kind of needs their graveyard to fusion summon, that might be a little bit of a problem. He activates Magical Meltdown. He'll probably just wait for him to summon and then activates Angelica when he feels confident his opponent's kind of locked in to start popping some cards. He's going to gain 1800 life points, and here come all the effects. Here comes the removal. Here comes all the popping. You can see, I think it's going to be a Chain Link 6 or Chain Link 5. Yeah, he's nuking his opponent's cards. Now his opponent is not going to lose everything he has, so he'll still be able to get an attack through, but he scoops it up. He realizes in a deck, or with a deck like Invoked, outside of being able to go for a Borolo play, which is very difficult for a deck like Invoked, he basically has no out to this lock. So this is a pretty legitimate lock. You know what? Even Borolo Dragon wouldn't necessarily break this, because if they waited for the Borolo to be summoned and they used Dried Winds could easily pop the Borolo Dragon. So this is a very difficult lock to break. Basically, you need to either get rid of the Dried Winds itself, or you need to just use some type of non-targeting removal. Anyways, let's go to the second duel. This one's going to be fairly quick. It's a battle of some worm decks. We got Metafist and Tenyi. I feel like the Tenyi Link 3 is going to make an appearance. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword because in Tenyi you want non-effect monsters like the Link 1 and the other Link 3 so that you can activate your effects and you can resolve the field spell. But if you have a bunch of effect monsters on field, it doesn't always work. I kind of wonder why he didn't attack with the Synchro first. This Synchro is very similar to Boral Sword Dragon. It can get double attacks and that's pretty good. Although it has to be, I guess, double attacks on monsters. So maybe, yeah, maybe it didn't honestly matter. He's going to go ahead and summon the Pankratrops, which I think it's weird. I always think that it's weird. If you're running Pankratrops in your main, you should always blind second. There's no reason to ever go first and run Pankratrops. If you're running Pankratrops in the main deck, you are committing to straight up just going, you're going second in those duels. Anyways, Aloof Lapine is going to banish a card. He also runs over the Tenyi Link 2. Fair enough. He has Ash Blossom for days, which is kind of interesting. He's going to summon his Metafist Ragnarok. He doesn't really have any defensive cards, and don't be surprised if he actually just loses this turn, especially if he does make the Synchro once again. You can see he's going to summon the Link 2. Actually, he doesn't need to make it once again. He can just kind of summon it from the graveyard with the Monster Reborn effect of the Link 2. Then he takes his Ash Blossom because he's like, I got these Ash Blossoms that are not doing anything. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to climb into the Link 3. Link 3, I mean, it's not a bad card because it can't be destroyed in battle by effect monsters. So that can be kind of nice. Then if you have no other effect monsters, you can like pop cards on your opponent's side of the field, equivalent to the non-effect monsters that are in your graveyard or face up on your field. It's a nice card, but I don't really think that you need to run more than one of it. I feel like you'll still summon the Link 3, that you'll still summon the vanilla guy, maybe even more. This one right here, even though it's just a vanilla beat stick, just because this archetype, like the way that it functions, you'll probably summon it more just because it is a non-effect monster. Anyways, a couple of attacks with this big guy, and the game is almost over. I can't wait until this card comes out. This card is so good. I feel like it generically fits in a whole bunch of decks just because it is such a powerful and kind of game-ending, like generic level 8 Synchro monster. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed those short duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.